Welcome to the last installment of our shooter game tutorial. I think this is like tutorial number 9. We're going to do a little bit of house cleaning in this tutorial, and we're going to have the game represent a way where you can tell how well you did on the game. And because we're only really making one level, we'll basically time how quickly you can get through the level and to how quickly you manage to destroy the boss. And we'll make that the sort of the high score. We'll do it by time instead of by score. So we'll do a little bit of housekeeping start. We've got a little too many things showing up over here that we don't need to see. We'll keep the timer up as we test out our high score or our fastest time, and then we'll just clean up anything else that we need cleaned up, and this game should be done. So the first thing we're going to do is we don't need to see lives anymore because we know that works. We don't really need to see hits anymore because we know that works. We don't need to see the boss speed anymore, and the timer we'll leave up for now. Now, to measure this game and how fast you can go through the enemies and how fast you can get the boss killed, we will need 2 more variables. And then we're actually 3 more variables because we're going to end up making our own timer. Because this timer we're already using and this timer we're resetting. We're going to make a timer that looks at this one and kind of increments itself. So we'll make a secondary timer. So we're going to make 3 new variables. First variable, we can call it timer. It will not interfere with the timer, or we can call it timer1. That'll work. We'll make another variable. We'll call it your time. We'll make one more variable called fastest time. Or best time. Yeah, let's call it best time. That works. So I have 3 variables. Now I'm going to start by working on the hero a bit by making a timer. I could make it anywhere. Just the fact that I have the hero up is why I think I'll make it here. And so this is going to be basically our timer 1, which is going to watch this timer over here but act as a separate timer. And you're going to see that the math here is a little weird. It just happens to be with the delay of the display and how Scratch works in the background. So first thing we're going to pick up is an events, the usual when I receive. And instead of game over, we're going to say when I receive start. What we're going to do as soon as the game starts, we're going to reset this main timer. So we got to go to sensing. And we have to do a reset timer. Okay, that's good. And then we are going to then take our variables and we are going to set our own timer, timer 1 to 0. So as soon as the game starts, our timer 1 goes to 0. And then we're going to bring in a forever loop. And in our forever loop, we will have a wait block. And that wait block is going to wait 0.05 seconds. And then after it waits 0.05 seconds, we are going to change from variables. We're going to change timer 1 by 0.1. Now, mathematically, you don't think this makes sense, but the amount of time it takes to go from here to here to change the time by 1/10 of a second takes about 0.05 of a second. So that's why the timing here is a little bit different. So if we start the game, the 2 timers should move up at about the same rate. So if we stop the game, this one unfortunately is not going to stop. The 2 timers should climb at the same rate. Let's try that again. There we go. The 2 timers climb at the same rate. So because the 2 timers climb at the same rate, we know that our homemade timer is working. So our homemade timer is working. We'll keep track of how fast it is that we're going to complete the game. And we're going to determine how fast it is we took to complete the game on, what will we put on? We'll put it on the uWin sprite. So we'll add a little code to the uWin. So we're going to add it right below the when I receive uWin, because we're only going to actually see our time and the best time if you actually beat the boss. If you don't beat the boss, you lost the game, so your time is kind of irrelevant. So I'm just going to kind of put these up at the top for now. We'll eventually hide them when the game starts. But for now, we'll leave them right here. And so we got a little bit of time to kill here. So actually a little housekeeping. We're going to take the timer and we're going to turn it off because we don't need to see it anymore. So go to the blue, turn that off. I don't need to see that anymore. It's just sitting there counting, and we already know that our counter works. So how are we going to choose what your time is? Well, that's fairly straightforward. In order to display your time, we have to make it equal to timer 1. So if you win, we're going to go to our variables, and we're going to bring in this set. But what we're going to do is we're going to set your time to timer 1. So if you win, your time is going to equal timer 1. Perfect. Now, after that, actually, maybe we can play that. Maybe we can check and make sure that's going to work. So we got to beat these guys, all 9 of them. Then we got to beat our boss. Got to beat our boss 10, hit our boss 10 times. There we go. So, oh, it's still going because we haven't had it stop. Well, we're eventually going to get that to stop. So when we win, we'll stop the timer, and these 2 things here should stop for us. Won't take us long to get that done. Okay, so yeah, set your time to timer. You'll notice these 2 things are close to being perfectly equal. It just happens to be where I stopped it. It'll be just a hair of a delay between those 2. Okay. Now, next, we are going to I'm going to bring in an if statement. To determine whether your time is the best time. So this is going to require a fairly large mathematical equation going here. So let's go to operators, and the first thing we're going to bring in is a logical or statement. And then on the left side, I need to bring in an equal sign, and we're just going to take that 50. Ooh, why did that or statement jump out of there? That or statement should not have jumped out of there. So actually, maybe we'll just build the mathematical statement on the outside first. We'll just clear that for now. Actually, we'll put a 0 in there. And then we need a less than sign to kick in here. And we'll just take that 50 out of there. And now we'll take this and drop it right in place. So now to build our mathematical statement here, or our logic statement. So if, we'll go to our variables, the best time equals 0, or your time is less than best time, we will then set best time to your time. So the way this automatically works, it'll check to see if the best time is 0. So the first time this game is ever going to be played, best time is going to equal 0. So if best time equals 0 and you play and you win, you will automatically then set best time to your time. You will automatically get the best time. If best time is not 0, it will look over here and say, is your time less than best time? And if your time is less than best time, then best time will be set to your time. That's the way this is going to work. And then immediately after this comes up, we'll grab a stop. Ooh, that will be under right here. We'll throw a stop all under this. And let's test this out now. Okay, we won. Your time and the timer are equal. Best time equals, because that was 0. So my best time is 11.2. Now, if I play again, if I don't beat 11.2, I will not have the best time. Okay, 10-1, 10-1, 10-1. So we know this is all working. Now I'm going to, on purpose, not get the best time, but I still have to win. So I'm going to slow down on purpose here. Okay, now I'll try to get through the bad guys. Try to get through the boss. See, now I know I'm way up above. All right, it took me 16.2. Therefore, best time was not set because this was not less than the best time. So this is working. Now, should we always see these two? No, I think we should only see these two when we win. So when the game starts, what I want to do is come to our variables here, and I want to hide variable best time. I want to hide the variable your time, just like that. We don't need to see timer 1 anymore, so I'll just click that off. And then when you win, we're going to show variable best time, and we are going to show variable your time. So let's try that out. There we go. If I lose, I should just get a game over and should not get those times to show up because I lost. It's just a game over. I didn't win, so I can't have the best time. And let's win, and let's see what happens. I probably won't get the best time because that 10.1 for the number of things I got here is actually pretty good. So this shows up now. I got 13.3, and the best time is 10.1. So that works. Now, our game right now is set to play with only 10 shots on the enemy and only 10 shots on the boss. We're going to change that up. We're going to raise it up. Again, we're going to make the game more difficult the way the game should be. So I always kind of think that the number of enemies you should have to get before the boss shows up is about 40 hits. So we'll put, when I receive start, wait until hits is greater than 39, then broadcast show boss. So that will be 40 hits on the enemies before we get there. So the game will be more difficult. You may never get to the boss sometimes, but it's a video game. You're supposed to be able to lose. And then how many hits should the boss take? Well, I think the boss should maybe have to get 30 hits, like most of the way there. So where did we set that up? Right here. So if hits are greater than 29 on the boss, and it's going to make it difficult because the boss is going to get moving quick, and again, the boss does have the opportunity to get you. So let's see what happens here. Now, this best time, I'm going to go to the you win thing here. This best time is set to 10.1. Now that I've changed the parameters of the game, I have to reset that best time. So I'm just going to pull in a set best time to 0, but I'm not going to connect it to anything, and game players won't be able to see this. So we'll just click this and reset the best time to 0 now that we changed the game parameters. Because it's not connected in anywhere, it will not reset to 0 every time the game plays. This is just for us when we get to the point of changing those parameters. So now if we play this game, let's see if I can even get to the boss, because I got to kill like 40 of these guys. And remember, every 4 seconds or every 10 of these guys are going to start moving faster. So there they are, they're moving faster. I got to move faster, see how many of these guys I can get. And after I get another 10, they'll move faster. I've already lost a life. Now they're moving faster, 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 faster. Now I got my boss. Now I have to hit my boss a whole bunch of times. I've lost 2 lives already. I lost. Game over. I'm done. So the boss hit me. Game's over. Boss is boss wins. I'm done. Game over. No high scores. I didn't destroy my boss. So the game here is in pretty good shape. I'll have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, see if there's anything else that I need to fix. But right now we have a game that works. We've got our boss, we got our hero, we got stuff shooting back at us, we've got different lives. But the only thing I would expect you to do from here now is add sounds to it. As my example that I have posted is all sounded up, and from the previous tutorial, you should be able to add sounds. What I'm going to do now at the end of this video is just for if you have missed something or something's just not quite working right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click through each of these, and for a few seconds, I'll leave it on the screen, all of the code. So you'll be able to see, here's all the code for the play button. If you need to pause it and check it out here, please do so. Here's all of the code for the hero. Here's all of the code for the hero shot. Here's all of the code for the enemy. Here's the code for the game over. Here's the code for the boss. Here's the code for the boss shot. Here's the code for you win. Here's the code for life 1. Life 2. And life 3. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about what we've got going on here, please let me know. And again, last task outside of these tutorials I shouldn't have to show you is how to add sounds. There's lots of different places to add sounds. Have a great day.